I have with me Deepa Shankaran, who's joining me from Bay Area, California. Thank you so much, Deepa, for joining me in this interview. And this is a special episode on Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Thank you, Deepa. I'm really inspired on many things that you do, and this is such a very wonderful moment, historic. Tell me, what does Thanksgiving mean to you, and whom would you like to thank at this time?
Sure. First of all, thank you for thinking of me. I have been following some of your shows, and I'm a big fan. It brings the community together, so I really like it. Having said that, let me get into the Thanksgiving mode. I've been in this country for 23 years now, and my first Thanksgiving was the very first year I came here. So I landed in Vermont. My first job was in Vermont with Ben & Jerry's ice cream company for the IT division. So I was probably the only colored person there at that time. I didn't have a car. I used to rely on public transportation. It's a very small city, but the entire company kind of I was 20 something at that time. So the entire company adopted me like their own sister or like their own daughter or whatever it is, right? So the very first Thanksgiving I was there, it was snowing heavily, and I remember Justin, my friend from Ben & Jerry's, she invited me to her house for Thanksgiving. That is how I got introduced to the concept of Thanksgiving. Of course, they told me stories about the pilgrims and things like that. But ever since then, it has become, over the years, it has morphed what Thanksgiving is for me. Different phases of life. Definitely I've given thanks to the different people that contribute to our lives. That's what it means, right? Yeah. Before we became a family here and before we formed huge friends, whoever is in our vicinity, whoever is able to come together, we always have a full house for Thanksgiving. And I think that's very important, especially for immigrants like us, to find the family, to find the community within our reach, right? Because it's not given for us, right? So I think Thanksgiving means a lot. For different people, it means different things. But to me, that's what it means, bringing people together and thanking the people that are in my life at that point. Of course, life is, a journey, and then people come and go.
True.
So that's what it is. So this year is very special because I found great comfort in my own passions. And there are people that have really made that possible for me. The music group that we are part of, Anu. That's how I got introduced to you.
So, before you continue with that, me and Deepa are part of a music group that's kind of that's an entertainment for us. We meet weekly, we sing together. That's given a lot of happiness to both of us, and we found new friends. It's like a family, so it's really good thing. Like I always encourage everyone to have a support group like this. It could be professional or anything, music or arts or dance. So this is wonderful that we are doing together. And that's how I know Deepa, and that's how I know her passion, her interests. And I really wanted to have this discussion, and I thought this is a perfect time to talk with you. So please continue, Deepa.
Sure. So, I cannot ask for more, right? I never even imagined that I would I would become this close to many of you in the music group. Of course, very fortunate to have found your relationship there, Anu. So that is one, definitely. So thankful because I have always loved singing. This being part of this group and having access to the app, Smule app, is a great blessing, and it's a great stress buster. So that's thankful for that. Again, this year my daughter went to college. So um, again, people say that it's very difficult to get through that empty nester feeling and all that, right? Yes, of course, with COVID it's even harder. um, but again, right, I've started engaging more with my painting me here, started doing more.
That's awesome. Is
uh,
that the Ravana painting that you did? That's
yes,
wonderful.
yes, this is Ravana.
Is it
um,
acrylic?
so
Acrylic
this
painting?
is acrylic on canvas. I'm not trained or anything. I just did it based on a photo. I actually did it for a friend who wanted it for his temple.
Hmm.
That temple, they do um, what we call a Tiruvira. It's a festival
Right.
um, every year, and that is the only temple that has a Vahanam for Ravana. So he sent me the picture from last year, and I thought it'd be a good idea to paint it. So I started painting it. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to give it to him because I didn't go to India this year,
Okay.
but it will make its way there. So,
Sure.
I mean, I've started doing more of Indian paintings. I used to do landscapes and things like that before. So that's one thing. The more important thing this year I realized is a couple of my friends. I can't name one person, right? But the resonating message is be comfortable with who you are. And that's what drew me to the singing, and that's what drew me to back to the painting, and be happy with who I am internally, who I've grown up. And I think that is what keeps me going, and I want to share that message here during Thanksgiving to
Awesome.
everybody.
Like one person supporting another. And of course, you have supported many of us, and we have supported you. So we've continued our passion together. It's wonderful, right? Especially during this COVID lockdown time when we are unable to meet one another. This virtual world has connected us so well. And I'm really thankful for, of course, this is the right time to say thanks, I believe, to one another. And one other thing is your storytelling. I really wanted to touch base a little bit on that. I've
Yeah.
listened to a lot of stories of yours on YouTube. You have a channel, and you narrate stories in our mother tongue, Tamil. So that's a beautiful experience, a little bit on that.
So it actually started very interesting how it started. Again, um, about reaching out and um, being able to connect to a friend. If you're talking about what I've read as a child, and then this friend said, I don't have the habit of reading, and it's difficult for me to read at this age. So I said, okay, let me just read it aloud, a story that I really like, and I will send you a video. It started out as a personal thing, and they forwarded it to somebody else, and then I found that okay, people are interested in this, and that's what keeps me motivated. So, but I only do short stories. Of course, being outside India, finding Tamil stories is a little difficult. I'm reaching out to different people to get different sources to read. I hope I will continue that. It just brings me great joy when I'm in that zone for about an hour or
That's a
so.
great talent
Yeah.
because you have to have the expressions, you have to follow the lines and be the character yourself. That's a great talent you have, and many of us we are inspired by the way you narrate stories. So
Thanks
really,
to my dad.
oh, wonderful, awesome, someone.
Yeah, he is the one that instilled that he has been a stage actor before in his early life. So actually he has even done some COVID plays, virtual COVID plays now.
Okay.
So he continues to be my inspiration there.
Awesome, awesome. So back to Thanksgiving. So this year, I believe you are a resident here for 20 years, more than 20 years, and you have seen the beginning stages when you moved in here, and now Thanksgiving. How is it different? You've already mentioned how it was in the beginning, like you visited your friend's house. Now that you have your daughter in college, and are you waiting for her to come for Thanksgiving dinner? And so that should be exciting.
Yeah. So she has been, I mean, now Thanksgiving, she is like last 3-4 years, she is the one that organizes everything. Like even if I'm a little bit, okay, let's take it easy this time, she would just pull along. In fact, this time she's already started making her grocery list, and she bakes, and she does cook the American dishes very
Wow.
well. I'm not saying anything about the Indian stuff here, but yeah, she
I
is.
think these days
She's
we
a
have a
planner.
mixture of Indian and American for Thanksgiving. We've all adopted the
Yes.
festival, so I think we have a mixture of both dishes, cuisines in Thanksgiving.
Yes. So both my kids really enjoy being together and doing stuff together for Thanksgiving. So that's what it's been for the last few years. We've invited some friends over. It's not a large crowd anymore. It's a smaller crowd. It will morph over the years. It will be what it is at that point in life. So, but I think it is important for us to make Thanksgiving our own
Yeah.
and show that thanks to everybody.
Such a wonderful festival, right? We Indians, we really fell in love with this festival. We want to adopt this just like our Diwali. And
Yes.
we haven't done this in our childhood, but now when we've moved in here, it's so nice to actually meet the family, say thanks, not just family, friends, and everyone. You just thank everyone, God Almighty, and neighbors, everyone at this time, right? So it's a wonderful feeling. So a little bit on the next day to Thanksgiving, the Black Friday, the crazy shopping. What is your feeling on that? Are you a Black Friday
No.
shopping person, or do you do it online? What's your
I
experience?
love people. I love good stuff, but I don't like crowds. I've resorted to online mostly these days. Used to enjoy it early on, probably when I was a lot younger, but not anymore. But yeah, now I have a couple of cousins here. They've been here to my house, and I'm the good host at home, sending them shopping and providing them food when they come back. So that's it stops there for me.
So beautiful, nice. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Is it the dessert, or what's that? Is there a casserole or the pie?
Um,
What's your favorite?
so we've done tofurkey for a long time. So I've kind of, every time I try something different with the tofurkey. So tofurkey is a standard in our house. But my favorite for Thanksgiving is my stuffed bell peppers and stuffed mushrooms.
Awesome.
That is like, I think I've skipped that a couple of times, and people who came to my house were not happy that I skipped making that dish that time. So that's my favorite, and I think we do it well at home.
So nice. That's awesome. I think we should visit sometime, visit Bay Area and get your stuffed bell peppers.
Definitely,
So,
definitely, definitely. Please, all of you come home,
definitely, we'll do that.
and you can all be part of my Thanksgiving, dinner making or whatever.
So
We'll
nice.
enjoy it together.
So nice. Thank you so much.
Say that, definitely without the family support, there's nothing. So I want to thank my husband, who's been there um, uh, thick and thin, talks to me every day. I know for different people it might be different. It might be a friend that talks to you every day. I think it's important to reach out, express, ask what you want, or even if it's a good morning, hey, how are you feeling? I think it's important for us to do it, especially given the circumstances we are in. I've realized that very recently that it's important to connect and talk, and I know you're doing a great job of connecting people.
Deepa.
So thank you for that. I do what is remind people that I think in every language, every religion, there is this. Uh, I think in Tamil they say, right, தட்டுங்கள் திறக்கப்படும்,
Beautiful.
கேளுங்கள் கொடுக்கப்படும். It is there both in Hinduism and I've heard about it both in Christianity and Hinduism. The key message that I take from it is the first word. You have to ask or you have to knock. Otherwise, people won't know what situation you're in, because we are all behind this superficial, the smile we put on or the courage that we put on. if you're hurting inside, or even if you're, longing for someone to say hi to you, just reach out and ask. Don't wait.
Yeah, speak up. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to definitely send that message to all the people that are isolated now, be it youngsters or old people. It's important to connect and send a text message, send a WhatsApp, call up. If you think, oh, this person has not talked to me in a long time, what stops you from calling? I mean, now communication is so easy, right? So that I just want to leave that message here.
Wonderful message, Deepa. I'm so glad that I've gotten a chance to talk to you and get this message out of you, because speaking up during this time, especially the COVID lockdown time, many of them are locked down and don't have any company to talk to, or stressed out with the work and all that. So speaking, communicating with one another is a key to coming out of many difficulties, I believe. So that's a beautiful message that you gave us. Thank you so much on that, Deepa. Um,
Being in COVID situation, I've started connecting with a lot of people who share this same passion, right? So in that journey, um, I have a very good um, friend in India, and what I realized is, uh, we talk a lot, and he is not educated, or he's not in management or anything, but what I found interesting, I wanted to bring this up here, is the very small things when I share an experience, or when we talk about an incident or something, the advice that he would share. Um, I'm amazed that, even without being, we all go through this management training, and we read a lot of books, and he would say the very simplest things that will be very effective for, okay, this is what happened at work today, so why don't you try this? I would be floored. Like, now how, like, these are the concepts that come by reading a lot of books. Like, for example, right, he would say things like, okay, as a leader, if you've made a decision, and even if it goes wrong, um, think twice about going back and apologizing, because you're in that leadership position, and the minute people see you apologizing, your credibility goes away. So it's not that he's not saying that what you did, you should not own up to your mistake. He was just saying that, in that conversation, he was just saying that you should think twice about how to communicate it. There is a way to say that you were wrong without being blatantly apologetic, because there are a lot of people who see you as a role model and who want to grow in your path. And tomorrow, when you go make another decision, people will think back to what you did recently. So small things like that, right? I was just floored with that kind of thing. The message I wanted to I took from this is, we all think that, oh, we all have to get advice from this mentor or this book. In every walk of life, there are small messages like this.
Beautiful.
And that's where the whole concept of being in your own skin, just shedding all the superficial coat that we put on, the walls that we build.
Very true.
I've just, through many experiences, I've started realizing that it's okay to be you. It's okay to be proud of who you are, regardless of whether it's accepted or not.
That's a wonderful
So
point.
I don't know. I know it was a long-winded thing, but I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you for sharing that, actually, and really appreciate that we all have someone in life, a friend or a mentor, who can guide us with these important tips. So thank you for sharing that, Deepa. Thank you so much again, Deepa, and happy Thanksgiving. And
Happy Thanksgiving. I wish I could be there. We will make a Thanksgiving together soon.
definitely, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Deepa.
Yeah.
First off, thank you so much for coming to this show and talking to me on this. And I wanted to know what you're thankful for, and tell us something about this COVID lockdown period and how you've overcome that.
Oh, okay. Well, this has been a challenging season in many, many ways. Primarily, the one of the main ones is like our school is somewhat shut down right now. We have been pretty much shut down since last March, but we have still been able to keep connection with our families. We are doing some virtual classes, and so we are doing some activities where we're able to still see the children, still love on them from a distance. And so it's been really hard because for me, every day I get my lift from seeing my children come into school every day, seeing their beautiful smiling faces and being able to hug on them. Not being able to hug is really hard for me. I come from the Louisiana area and we are big huggers. And so
There's a
not being,
hug.
yes, thank you for my hug. But that's very important to me, particularly for the children, because I don't know what their day is, what they experience, in and out of the day. So being able to connect with them and know that I've contributed to the best of their day, and not being able to do that has been very, very hard. I have a new grandbaby that was born in January, and they're with me, but I haven't been able to share my grandbaby with many people because of COVID. So that's been difficult. And my mom lives out of state, and so not being able to travel, not being able to see her, often worried about her because she's alone. She's not alone because I have family there, but not being able to travel to see her. She has two new grandbabies, that great grandbabies that she hasn't even been able to see because of COVID. So it's been difficult, but we've tried to find ways of still connecting with our families. And this pandemic has forced us to learn new ways of doing things, how to run our business differently, how to connect with our families and our friends differently. And for me, it has forced me to kind of slow down and put things in perspective, because it's things that I probably have taken for granted. Like, for example, being able to see our children at the school every day. I just took for granted that was always something that was going to be. And now to really have it put right in my face that that's something that may not happen for a while. And, we thought it was going to be a short time, and then it just went on. And then now with it getting worse, it could be a longer time. So this pandemic has really forced me to put more things in perspective, to also become more prayerful and think about my relationship with God and my relationship with family, not, even though I can't see them, but being able to connect with them, where it would sometimes be months before we talk. We talk more frequently now. My family, we have a Zoom call and we play games once a month. We never did that before. And we would sometimes, it would be like years, like every 2 years, my family had a family reunion. And so every 2 years we would see them. But now we value the time and the connection more. And so we decided to start doing the Zoom calls every month and just, and so we like some of my distance cousins, I've gotten to know things about them I would have never known beforehand. So even though the pandemic has had its challenges, it has also brought with it its blessings. And so I am so thankful for the good things that have come out, and the opportunity to just still be here and still be able to do what I can to be positive and show love and kindness along the way. So I'm really thankful for that.
That's an amazing information that you put forward here, and the way we connect to people who've not done these things before.
Yes.
Given a window of opportunity for us to use these technology,
Mm-hmm.
technology, and we are still connected with family and friends. That's
Right.
really so nice of you, and that's one of the main motto of this conversation and the
Mm-hmm.
channel that I started. I started this during COVID, and I really wanted
Okay.
to connect with people. And I've been following you on social media, your motivational quotes and thoughts. Those are sometimes when I open the page, it's so nice to read those prayers. So I really wanted to hear it live from you, and I'm thankful that you're here today to share all these things with me. And yeah, we're all hoping for the best. So let's
Yes,
just
yes,
always
definitely.
meet in person and be
Yes,
brothers. So we need the hug.
yes, yes, yes.
And thank you so much again, Miss Angela, for coming and talking to me. And I
You're welcome. You're welcome.
do this often.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, Abai, so much for coming to the show and talking to me. Abai is a very good friend of mine, and we've known each other for more than a decade now. He's an IT professional for 3 decades. And I'm so grateful to have you in this Thanksgiving episode, and to also spread a social message here. Thank you, Abai, once again for coming here.
Yeah, thank you, Anu. I think firstly, thanks for this opportunity. Main thing, this is kind of a unique nature of the interview, right? So that I'm going to be part of. So I'm kind of very happy about it. And then, hello, thanks to everyone who is viewing this video. And I wish you guys a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Thank you, Abai. So this is a Thanksgiving episode, and I really wanted to have a word with you on Thanksgiving, what you feel thankful. What is your opinion on that? What are you thankful for this year?
Yeah, I think we believe in the fact that, more thankful you are, more grace flows into your life. But it's again, often very easier to said than done, right? So yeah, definitely to the family, friends, relatives, and the colleagues who work with us in the profession, and more importantly, all the frontline workers, the hospital workers, the grocery people, all the people who support us to make our lives pretty easygoing, even in spite of all these tough times. Yeah. So
That is so
I'm
true.
definitely thankful to all of them and all the people who provide resources to us, even during these tough times.
That's a wonderful message. So many people out there who's in the frontline workers, especially they've given their time and effort for all the people who are suffering with the COVID. And of course, this is the best time to thank all of them. And that's a great message that you gave us. Thank you so much on that.
Sure, thank you.
So Abhay and me know each other a lot through the virtual world. More than meeting in person, we've met a lot virtually on Facebook and other social media platforms. Tell us something about how popular you are on social media, or how is it impacting your life? How are you enjoying? Tell me the enjoyable part of social media.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I think so. One of my friend called me almost after 20 years, right? Then she basically was checking with me, and then she asked me whether I'm on Facebook. So this was back after our FEDNA days in 2010, right? And then I told her, I just have a Facebook account to monitor my daughter, right, her activities, but I never logged into it, just on my name, right? And then she said, what is your, name ID? That's the time I really figured out I did have an account for a year,
Okay.
right? And then, around 2010, I got into the Facebook, right? And then I slowly started using the features, right? And then again, I started enjoying the different type of, the post, and able to share my different interests with people. And then at the same time, also seeing a lot of people reciprocating to your interest, that kind of made you energized you even more. And then I started writing poems, and I started getting appreciation on that. So some of those long-lasting interest kind of surfaced, because you now have a audience whom you can really perform. And again, most of these are friends, right? So it's more like a cordial virtual world expanded my, the what do you call, the physical boundaries have been expanded, worldwide, right? So.
True. Awesome. I think we've connected through a lot of posts for the past 10 years, social interest posts, or arts or movies, or especially movies. So a lot of some things that I've forgotten, I see through your posts and understand, and that's a lot of inspirational posts. So a lot we have connected virtually, and I guess virtual world has helped us so much, and it's grown along with us for the past 10 years, especially Facebook. Of course, we have LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, whatnot. Everything is, especially this year, 2020, we've all depending on the social media platforms to stay connected, to avoid the in-person meets. I really wanted to touch base on a little bit about
Sure.
how much we are impacted with social media, and how much is too much, or how we can slowly overcome the addiction of social media. So a little bit of conversation we can have on that.
Yeah, sure. I think on the positive side, right, we are able to connect with our long lost friends, relatives who are in different cities, right, and then family, both in United States and abroad, right. It provides a nice medium to connect with a lot of mutual interest, right, the activities, whether it, all the outgoing events and the activities that we are not able to be part of it. So when our friends and family share those kind of events, you kind of feel you are being part of it, right? You have been through that experience.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it is a mutual feeling from them that they enjoy, when we visit, a park or a temple, or, we go to a cultural association function.
Mm-hmm.
They can also, it's more like a virtual world, right, that people are able to experience through you, and similarly, you get to be in touch with their world, right? So that's kind of a good thing. In fact, in a funny way, I always say that uh, social media provides a great opportunity for one to be completely in the present moment of others.
Yeah, true. True,
So you are kind of following that, right? That's what I say, right? Even though we all want to be in our own present moment, but that's exactly what happens, right? You're at that point, which is again a fun thing. So then on the other perspective, right, what we have noticed is, right, when you are trying to cater, provide like a content at that point, a lot of time we miss out the present moment as well, right? In the sense that something in front of you, but you are more focused on what you are conveying to your set of what you call the audience or friends out there.
Absolutely.
So in that process, you missed the what is happening in front of you, around you. And even at times, right, when with your family and friends around you, you end up with the social media, so you're completely losing on the like that happens. I've seen happens with me. I've seen happens with friends. They miss out on the activity that's happening in front of them, right? So
that's very true. I've seen families where children are sitting right next to us, but the parents still are on the smartphone with all the social media updates, and we forget what we have next to us, and the moments are getting missed. That is so true. Absolutely.
And then other thing is, I don't know, this is a good time to tell you about, few, what I would call it as the impacts, right? One of them, for example, though the social media is kind of created, in order to foster friendship and, things like that, a lot of time what happens due to political differences, it may be your theological or spiritual or religious differences, or any kind of difference, it at times cause a lot of conflict, right? So what happened to be, it's more like, I call social media as like a knife, right? Knife is something definitely required in our lives to cut vegetables, or to cut the right, objects to do the thing. But at the same time, it also kind of has the other negative effect, right? So that's what happened. There is a lot of, one thing we have noticed is the uh, impact on a lot of the confrontation, because of the political views and other views that happens, right? And then the other thing, what we see in the real world also is, right, when some people are sharing about their, accomplishments, or, nice thing, their art, or their academic or professional or anything, the right thing to do is to get inspired from other people's, their appreciations and everything.
Positive
The
side.
positive thing, so that one can get definitely inspired, right? That has happened. Like you see a good music, then you also want to see whether how you can develop your own arts, or if somebody does like a nice certification, you improve yourself. But on the contrary, it can also happen that there is a factor of jealousy, those kind of things. So there is a kind of so it's kind of, that's what I said, it's like the knife, you can use it for the right purpose, right?
That's such a valid point. I mean, when you see a post, you get inspired out of it. You see how you come up with ways how you can improve yourself through that inspiration.
The connectivity is much easier. It also kind of opens venue for, people could get harassed in different, like verbally, mentally, in different. So it kind of opens that kind of a possibility too, right? So that is
when you come to public, it's always limited on, you have to be very careful on what you post, and definitely be mindful of the audience if you're going public especially, and not sharing with your friends or your circle. So a lot is there to speak about social media, definitely.
Yeah, and then one other positive thing I definitely want to mention is leaving the friend and family connections and stuff like that, right? So it's a lot of good information, right? You get information about different events, you get information about happening, something happening in your school or your college or in your town that has got an impact on you, right? Whether it may be your grocery timing, it may be a weather related information. And especially we have seen in the 2014 snow jam, when the whole city was getting everybody was stuck and everything, they were reaching out in social media for help. Then there are friends reaching out to them saying that, hey, you can go to my friend's house nearby, or you can find a gas station very close to you within so much distance. And there are people who stayed, they could not reach their families for more than 24 hours. They were able to connect themselves using
very good
social
point.
media. And a similar thing, like for example, if there's a weather warning coming, or there is a any impacts of that nature, or there is a big traffic impact, or so your day-to-day life, a lot of help one can get from the information, right? So but at the same time, yes, you do get a lot of useful information from a medical perspective and stuff like that, but other thing one needs to be cautious is a lot of fake news happens as well, right? And
true. It's the right source that you follow, and the right information that you get, because there's a lot, it's everywhere, and so many news channels and so many fake news channels, that I bring all the news through Facebook. I get all the news from Facebook. Instead of going to Google and clicking on CNN.com or any other news channel, I just bring everything to Facebook, one spot, one place. So it's a good, valid point.
That's right. I think a Facebook, a combination of, I think between a Facebook and Twitter gives you pretty much most of the information one is seeking. And then, obviously LinkedIn, from a professional perspective, you get a lot of very useful articles our friends publish, and it kind of helps with the jobs, and, kind of helps in those things. Then I think Instagram, I would consider as an extension. But I think the most popular thing, even though, last but not the least, is WhatsApp, right? That's kind of making it, again, there are good and, good things and negative things about it, right? The good thing is, again, an instant, you're able to collaborate in smaller groups and able to share a lot of the information that we talked about, right? That is flowing between here to there, right? Between Facebook to Twitter to, WhatsApp, going back and forth, right? At the same time,
constantly looking at it is giving kind of
exactly. I think the point I want to mention here is the amount of time spent on between these social media. Even if you take the minimum, it's like a WhatsApp and a Facebook and Twitter, right? So that's, I think most people, I would then tend to think they carry, right, these kind of thing. One is the amount of time you spend on that, right? So that's one thing we need to watch out in terms of. So there are tools like screen time and utilities available that can help us to alleviate that problem, right? So that we do have the issue. The second thing is there is a physical impact to it, right? That we have seen at various levels. It's not only for youth or children; it also impacts the adults in a very big way. In terms of there are people having issues with carpal tunnel syndromes in their hands, because constantly their hands being used, and then eyes are constantly engaged for hours, right? So it kind of makes it tires your eyes, and it has got its own impact with the blue light, and those kind of things. And mostly a lot of time the postures, right? The postures, it's not like you're always doing in a very right way. You go down, you go up, you do all kind of things. So some of these the studies, right? The studies will evolve only after a few years, right? how much it is impacting us in a physical manner, right? That part is, the mental, issues is, as I said, there are confrontations happening, and there are a few fights happening. That is something, one can somehow deal with it, right, in its own way. But I think the physical stuff is something, we all need to watch out in terms of, what is the right amount of time we are using. And again, one thing we can always do is we can always divide between what really matters to my life, right? Okay, when I'm interacting with social media, right, you go with that thing, yes, certain information is good, there, like, it's internally satisfying. It's not all about making money, or, it's not about the time to money proportion when we use social media. Yes, it's good if you use for, making your career better, or you're able to generate money out of it. That's all great using a social media. But also there is a very satisfying, information that you receive, you're able to communicate. That's again a positive thing. So I think besides these two, we need to kind of really ask ourselves, is, where you engage yourself, does it really worth it? Is it adding any value to my life, or is it adding any value to someone else's life? So if the answer is, if it's not adding value to my life, or going to impact another person in a nice manner, that is like a real cutoff point, saying that yes, that's where,
Very true. I think that's where we can probably draw a line on the limitations, we can probably have moderation in what we do, instead of having an excess amount of anything. In excess is not good. So even the social media addiction, to reduce that, I heard that people don't do even physical activity when they're glued to the smartphone, which is very, very, very important. Yoga or meditation, or even a simple walk outside. So these things are getting curtailed because of the addiction to social media. And I think this year, especially, the COVID lockdown has given even more time for us on social media platforms. Again, it's a tough situation for all of us. So we are only trying to overcome that situation. But again, everything in moderation will definitely help. So that's a
I
good.
think, as well said, the important point is, we all have our office work. Most of us work with computers, right? So we do have to spend time on that. That's the work that is important, to meet our official needs. But besides that, I think it's important to take a good amount of breaks, take walks, do meditation, or at least keep the phone away and spend time with your friends and family,
Sure.
who you're interacting in a more productive manner, or simply go out and enjoy the sun, moon, and the stars.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Give that quality time to, do those interesting things too, right? Or
Yeah.
the fall colors. These days you go out, you can really enjoy the fall colors. And we are blessed with a lot of rains this year. So, if you're a rain lover, you can just sit and enjoy the rain.
Yeah.
So there are different avenues to,
I think even to a neighbor that is right opposite us, we just text and say, hey, hi, how are you? Instead of doing that, we can just go out and just wave and say, hi, how are you? And that kind of conversation, we miss that a lot because of the addiction. But I think we'll overcome that. So this is a very crucial topic that I wanted to talk during this time. And I thought we've been connected virtually, and I thought you'll be one of the right persons to discuss on this. So really great points there.
Yeah, I think, see, personally, right, personally, I consider social media as a form of entertainment, honestly. It is not about, spreading my political view or a religious view, or or to preach anyone, right? I mean, everybody is pretty smart, and, they know how to handle themselves. So I don't believe personally in any of these, subjects, right? I mean, everybody knows about it. So I use it in the form of entertainment, right? So in that thing, I always look up for some interesting jokes or anything like that. That's kind of, it is not harmful to anyone, just more like, brings you a smile and kind of makes you light and feel better. The objective is to have fun. So I think that's how I view social media as, right? It's like a platform to have some entertainment and fun, and people are busy with their work or with their lives. When they come to do a stress relief, last thing you want to go is get into a very serious argument on a social media.
Very true, very true. I mean, this is a place to relax.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tiresome day when we come, and when you share that fun and humor to other people, we spread the the positivity and
The happiness. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
yeah, make someone smile. Yeah, that's a valid point there.
Thankful to Srinika and Pratika, right? They kind of helped me with some
Awesome.
interesting points, right? Just to read in their own words, the fear of missing out is something they kind of gave to me, among other things.
Okay.
Then they say currently, as we are stuck at home, we are getting more addicted to social media. Okay, just reading our own words. Currently, we are stuck at home. We are getting more addicted to social media. We need to take breaks from time to time where we disconnect from the world and focus on our mental and physical health.
Wow.
For
Awesome.
example, we can meditate, we can take a walk, or have a friendly family conversation. There are many ways to take breaks. So this is she kind of put together a nice point for me.
That's wonderful. I mean,
I wrote a poem on Facebook itself, right? So it got published in the magazine about my usage of Facebook, and
wonderful.
so that was one of my popular posts that took place
Oh,
in.
wow. Okay. Awesome. Good to know about your
And then
pocket.
similarly, we have seen friends doing arts, painting, singing. So it kind of sprung up a lot of a lot of the arts from right, a lot of arts and creativity also. I mean, I know
Definitely.
a lot of people uses TikTok. They see people show a lot of funny videos.
Yeah.
On one end, yes, I know there's a little bit of wasting time and watching all these videos, but on another end, if you actually look into it, people have put a lot of their creative. It kind of provides a platform for their creative juices and.
About TikTok. TikTok is not all bad things going on there, but there is some fun part also. People put in creativity, and it's really good to watch sometimes, especially.
That's right. Yeah.
And also, Facebook reminds us of the activities that we do every year. So the activity that we did like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, it just reminds us, and it gives a smile, right? The good activities that we've been part of. So that's a good
Yeah, definitely. That is a great that's a great feature down the memory lane. It's a good way to record the different life events, and over the years we have been losing some friends also, right? But what happened is this kind of provided a place for us to record the lot of good moments with them, right? Like the photos with them, the interactions with them. You've kind of interacted with them in the past, you've taken photographs with them, you've done some activities, videos with them, you've collaborated with some manner. So these are all something you cannot reproduce or recreate those moments. So it kind of provides a natural platform to kind of remember the loved and lost ones over the years too, right? So, yeah.
Absolutely, that's such a great point that you brought in. Definitely. So I'm really so thankful to have had this conversation with you, Abhay, and thank you so much for spending time and coming here today to talk with me on the most crucial topic that we're all in, social media addiction and how to overcome that. Thank you so much again, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Really enjoyed having this conversation, and looking forward to this video being released soon, and let's have some fun. Yeah. And again, thank you all for watching. I think Anu is doing a great job with her channel, coming with the different opportunities to different kind of friends and professionals, and hope you're enjoying the whole series, and which I do, and then I'm sure it is a mutual feeling. It's a great job, Anu. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Abhay. Thanks again.
Okay, thank you. Okay.